Hello and welcome to the LoreDump Podcast. I am your host, Jared Thorpe, and with me, as always, is the Cain to my Abel, Cole. And today we're talking about a game normally I have to give a preface on, that we're not experts on something.
I like to think I'm not.
But in this one case, Cole knows a lot about Half-Life.
I love it. It's great. I played it since I was 4.
Is it your favorite game?
Probably one of the most influential games. That and Diablo 2.
Like, to you?
Yeah.
Okay. We're like, we don't know much. He probably actually knows a lot. I know nothing. I've never played any of them. I've seen the Crack Life mod, and I've seen a mod where the head crabs have like mustaches and canes and top hats and whatnot.
It's part of the Mud Crab mod from Elder Scrolls.
Do you like mudkips?
No.
Anyway, so we're getting into this right off the bat.
Yeah.
We're going straight into Half-Life 1.
Half-Life 1. I'm only talking about Half-Life 1.
We're going to talk about the main character,
Gordon Freeman!
Freeman.
Okay, you start the game, you're late for work, you're on a tram ride that lasts 3 minutes. Now, at the time, it was actually pretty revolutionary because it's a slow build-up to the disaster that starts it all.
When you build slow and you start in a normal situation, it makes the weirdness weirder and feel more obtuse to the world itself, yeah.
Yeah, and like, every game after that did it. Like, even in recent games, like Prey's a good example.
Soma.
Yeah, Soma. Like, a lot of first-person games just do it because it gets you into the world.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it's like, oh, get the game started already.
I disagree with that. I think that a game needs time to build sometimes. Like, Soma does really well at building you into the weirdness.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, this PhD man who puts on a radiation suit, he's late to work to shove a crystal into a microwave.
Why is that sound? Shoving crystals into lasers? Is it a laser microwave?
It's an anti-mass spectrometer.
Okay.
It's the measure the mass, the anti-mass, I think.
What's anti-mass for?
Well, it causes a resonance cascade because they can't turn it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my whole response here. Okay.
Yeah, because when you put the Zen crystals into the laser, and the crystals look like cheese because of old graphics. And then a whole bunch of lasers start shooting out and stuff starts teleporting, and you'll teleport in and out of Zen. And then you wake up, and you're in the chamber, and like shit's hit the fan already. And like, first thing to teleport, like the first enemy you see is a head crab, which first time you see it, you don't have a crowbar. So you have to run.
Why don't you have a crowbar?
Oh, you get that like 2 seconds later.
Okay. And then you beat the shit out of this weird looking tortilla chip?
Yes. And it like latches on your head.
Okay.
And it's like a weird zombie thing with its like chest.
Yeah,
Weird thing is, like when it's eating, when it's like, you can see like over a dead body, it doesn't feed its face, it feeds its chest. It like stuffs stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense in the old game because as a kid I always thought the ribs looked like teeth.
They do, yeah. I can see that perspective.
Yeah, but nowadays it's like those are ribs. This don't make any sense. And then as you are trying to make it to the surface, because this hellhole won't stop, you find Hound Eyes and Bull Squids. And
Hound Eyes? Which is which?
Okay, the Hound Eyes are the tripods.
Okay.
With like the big like flat face with the blue stripes.
It looks like it just has like 1,000 eyes.
It is. It has like a fly eye.
Yeah. And the other one's the tentacle vagina?
Yes. It's a Bull Squid, obviously.
Tentacle vagina. Got it.
I don't know why, like, their legs don't make sense.
Do they, like, spin around? Because that's the only way they could gain forward momentum.
What, the tripods?
No, the tripod legs are fine.
The Bull Squid?
The Bull Squid.
Okay,
like,
the Bull Squid can attack you by doing, like, a twirl, and it hits you with its tail.
But no, like, okay, how do they walk forward?
They just kind of walk. They just, like...
How?
Like
do you not see how this thing looks?
I do.
Its legs are like this, right?
Yeah.
You can't move forward like that. You need a forward thing. You need a third leg or two legs forward to push those, right?
Jared.
So the only way it could walk theoretically is if the legs spun around 360 degrees like this, offset.
Obviously, Jared, you just need to watch the thing. It comes at you and it like bites you and it shoots acid at you.
Yeah, I'll see it when I am editing this, but not right now. I'm only looking at
the Hound Eyes have like a charge up like sound wave blast.
Where does it come from?
It's eye.
How does an eye produce sound?
Really loudly.
Sonic boom. From
It
the
was
eye,
inspired by the designer's three-legged cat, and you see the Hound Eyes like if you see one, there's like a pack of them.
Okay, so they're like stray cat packs.
Yeah, and you see the Bull Squid like attack head crabs, so it's like a bear being loose in a zoo, like it's an animal. It doesn't have an intelligence.
It's just like I kill, am loose.
And the other thing is the barnacles. Then these things are fucking annoying.
Why is there like?
That's its tongue. And
It
then
looks
when
like it's being fucked by a pole.
well, that's its tongue, and it goes all the way to the ground. And if you get stuck in it, it drags you up, and you have to shoot it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And then it latches on your head.
Why is everything like to latch onto heads in Half-Life?
It's very sexual.
Like
It gets more sexual. It gets more sexual.
No, my answer is like, why is it specifically things like the latch onto heads?
These are the first two. I don't know.
Okay. I'm like, is it like they're specific, like they're targeting the brain?
The thing about the game is, I want to know is how do barnacles like attach to the surface? Because you never see them teleport. You never see like a spore like latch on and grow like mold or something. It doesn't like grow. It's just like the resonance cascade happens and they're there. And then you see these as you're escaping. Like you go through the offices of the Black Mesa.
Yeah.
And then as you see scientists get fucked up and shit and stuff's going bad. Then you see the Vortigons.
Vortigons?
Yeah.
Vortigons?
It's pronounced Gons. Okay? That's how they want it pronounced.
It's spelled Vortigons. What's the T doing there?
They got 3 arms and only 2 fingers for each arm.
Why is the third one coming out of the chest?
This is going to be a theme.
Just a little like.
Look, that's it's very useful.
Means he can't hug. Like he'll just kill people if he hugs them.
Well, he's good at getting popcorn.
But like, yeah, but like he can't hug people. Like imagine like got a drink in one hand, candy in the other.
It can't grab things without
hug go. Like it's like that's why it's so evil. It can't give hugs.
It has like a central eye and like if you look on the head, it has like a bunch of like
5
little
more eyes around it.
Yeah, but like it has one main eye. And it shoots electricity.
How does that affect its depth perception?
I don't know.
I'm genuinely curious because like
they're in the later games.
Okay.
Some of these don't return, sadly. The Bull Squid and Hound Eye don't.
I mean, who needs
these
a
guys
$1,000
shoot
cat?
green electricity at you. They can like charge up and fire it at you.
Okay.
And they're slaves because they got the green collars on them. The green things are like their
they have
shackles.
intelligent thought?
Yeah, they're pretty intelligent.
Can you free them?
Well, you're Gordon Freeman. That comes in. You're getting ahead of yourself, Jared. And then you make it to the surface. Then you find the military, whose solution is to fuck you up. Okay? They're there to just kill everyone, wipe the slate clean. We don't want any of your science bullshit. Okay? Because obviously. And they specifically want you dead. They want Gordon dead.
Why do they want Gordon dead?
Because you pushed a big cart of cheese into a microwave, Jared.
I did what now? Why would I waste cheese like that?
To microwave it.
I want to eat the cheese. I love cheese. Despite my lactose intolerance, I fucking love cheese.
Do you like it warm?
I don't. I'm indifferent. Cold, warm, melted, solid.
Well, we're going to microwave this bad boy, and it's going to cause a resonance cascade.
Okay, I do have a question. Is
this
actually cheese or is it?
It's Zen. It's the Zen crystals.
Okay, why did you call it cheese? Because it looks like cheese.
It looks like cheese in the game.
Okay.
It's a solid white block. Because this is 1998.
Graphics in 3D games looks like. Well, that could be a crystal, a block of cheese, or a human head. Not sure.
I'm just making fun of them because, like, come on. It's 1998.
Yeah.
And then the military are called the HECU. Which is the Hazardous
Military
Environmental
Bros.
Combat Unit. Jared, does that exist?
Hazardous Environment Combat Unit? No. We do have, like I don't know what this would be, but, like, essentially, every soldier has a gas mask.
Yeah.
And will go into a situation prepared to deploy it, so it doesn't make sense to have a unit specifically for that.
Yeah, they're assholes who try to kill you. Like, I think I put in pictures of, like, tanks, APCs, attack helicopters, the various military bros that attack you.
You put in. There's 4 pictures of military dudes, a fucking turret.
Yeah, they
tank.
lay on turrets that have like trip mines or a motion detector.
Although that's not a tank, that's a Bradley.
Well, it's a kind of tank.
No, it's not.
You're not.
It's an armored personnel carrier.
They also have Abrams, but I didn't put a picture of an Abram. They also later put in sniper nests to shoot you.
You correctly put APC in there.
Yeah, I just didn't read it.
Yeah.
So eventually, like, you make it to the surface, but they're like bombing it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, well, fuck that. I'm going back in.
Why?
Because you don't want to get shot.
But like the ground has death creatures.
So you can go underground to deal with Zen creatures, or you go above ground to deal with military bros with guns.
I mean, why are the military guns so bent on killing me though?
Because they just want to kill everyone. That's like their solution.
Yeah, then you just drop a nuke. You don't go send people in.
Well, they don't want to like irradiate the area. They just want to like.
Nukes doesn't necessarily mean nuclear radiation. I mean, like, you just drop a very large bomb.
It's a very deep.
Have you not seen the Simpsons movie?
Well, it's a very deep underground facility.
Okay, then you drop a bomb on top and a bomb directly in. Guess what? Pressure creates a bigger explosion. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah,
Tell me more.
But no, like, have you never seen the Simpsons movie?
Oh yeah.
Blow it up. I was elected to lead, not to read.
So you go through like the older parts of the facility, and the blast pit was like the test rockets.
Yeah.
And the big green moats of green goo.
Yeah.
What's
the green goo?
Slime from Nickelodeon.
Is it Gak?
Yes.
It's Gak. Okay.
So you go through you're walking through like the missile testing area, and a new creature has formed. A tentacle. 3-headed tentacle that has grown out of... Tentacle. Yes, that has grown out of it.
I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going.
So you have to turn on the fuel, the power, and the oxygen.
Memes.
Because, unfortunately, it grew under a rocket. Unfortunately. For it. It didn't know. I assume you can see the big green tentacle face.
Face? There's a face?
Blast pit?
I mean, I see 3 green tentacles.
The beaks.
The beaks are faces?
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm the actual tentacle one. And it looks like the fucking whatchamacallits from
They sound like whales.
It kind of looks like the one enemies from
So they can't see. So when you're like going around it, it can always sense vibrations. So you're like, crouched, and you can throw grenades away to get them away from you, and then at different levels, and they just peck. They just keep pecking. And you watch like one security guard get dragged out by one, and they're actually a really cool enemy. I really like them. They're probably one of my favorites. There's a second one, and that's coming up very quickly.
Okay.
So you burn it out. It dies. It's very cinematic. And you go in the hole that it dug out.
Uh-huh.
It's not quite sure whether it was 3 or 1, because it could have been like 3 heads to 1 body, like a seed.
Is it a body with multiple heads, or is it just one guy?
That's the thing, is they'd never explain it, because the scientists don't know.
I mean, that's always my question. Is like, how do the scientists know so much about all this stuff, despite
You'll
being
learn.
relatively new?
So eventually you go through it, and you find the beginning of the trams that layer throughout the facility, and you find the military fighting a Gargantua. First appearance of it. So you got to go turn on the power and kill the monster to go on minecart rides for a while.
Sounds neat.
And you kill the Gargantua with big Tesla coils. I don't like this chapter. Really?
Why?
Because in the last chapter, you had the power on the oxygen, the fuel, and the power, and you have to go out and go power them on and press the buttons, right? So in the next chapter, you have to go out and power on a thing to go kill another monster.
So it's just repetitive. It's just... It feels like a rehash of the last chapter, just with a different enemy and different things.
Yeah, I mean, the enemy's really cool, but I
can understand that.
Yeah, it's one of my few complaints. The next one is the Gargantua, which is it's probably another one of my favorites.
He's a big blue motherfucker.
He's 6 meters high. He has flamethrower claws, so his claws open and they shoot fire, blue fire.
Is it like does he fire gas and can spark it, or is it just like, hey, flame?
It's flame, and it's like a flamethrower.
Oh no, I'm really curious. Like, how does his anatomy allow him to do this?
And he like stomps and it shoots out like a red trail. It doesn't really it makes more sense in like a game format, but if you think about it, it doesn't. It's slightly faster than you, so you have to run, run, you motherfucker. And later in the game, you see it like crush cars and fuck up the military and just go through walls and big solid blast doors.
Okay.
It's actually really awesome. I think there was a few animations they didn't use where its head was like an alien head, and it like came out a little bit.
Like a xenomorph head? Or...
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a big... I mean, it's like a big beetle kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's like... Could have like a...
Yeah. Yeah, like its head could do that.
Yeah.
Now it's train time, and you ride around on trains.
Train time?
Yes. You literally are on a track, and you ride around for a bit.
Is that it? Is that the whole...
That's the whole level, and like the military are on the sides, and you might have to hop off to open the door and get back on the train and ride some more.
Okay. That sounds like it's like a pretty interesting gameplay segment.
Yeah, it was before. No, this is before Half-Life had the capability of operating a vehicle.
Like, not even just that. Like, think about this in modern days. It'd be a quick time event.
Yeah,
and that'd be city. You know.
But you can also control the speed of the train.
Like, raise your hand if you hate quick time events. 2 hands are up in the room. There's only 2 people in the room, so that's 100% of people hate quick time events.
Especially in the early days.
Like I love God of War. It brought quick time events to like the forefront of gaming and has never left.
God of War and Resident Evil 4.
I think God of War did it more because God of War's boss fights ended with quick time events all the time, and ended like the Gorgon and the Minotaur. You know.
Yeah.
It's such a big part of that game, and it worked because they were more interesting than just regular button pushes. You know?
So as you're riding the train, one of the security guards is telling you like you gotta go launch a rocket into space. The scientists in the facility are trying to like group together and stop the resonance cascade because it's still happening. Stuff's still teleporting in. So if they launch the rocket, they're hoping that it could help prevent the teleportations from going on.
And that's how the word cascade works, after all.
Yeah. So the military aborted the rocket because I'm assuming they just don't want any more of your science bullshit. It brought all of this shit. You got tentacle porn and you got blue beetles.
So, like, my question is, like, so does the military know it's still going on?
They keep finding more awful creatures teleport in front of them, so yes.
But, like, then they should know that you can't just kill it. You should let it fully develop and then kill the whole thing. You're wasting precious troops by sending him in now.
Well, I mean, you can get a foothold and...
You don't want a foothold, right? This isn't a war. This is an eradication. There's a difference between war and war. You're going to leave survivors. You're going to leave buildings, right? Here, you don't give a fuck about any of that. Your goal is murder.
In the game, a lot of the creatures have the tendency to teleport in front of you, and you have a shotgun, and you just shoot them in the face.
Well, no, my point is like thinking of this from a real-world military perspective, right? If your goal is not to salvage, it's just to destroy,
I think
there's no need for troops.
I assume at the beginning... They assume that it could be salvageable because they don't
pull out immediately. You send in your scout troop. Your scout troop says, "Oh crap, we can't fucking do shit." You leave, and then you like, "Is it done? Cool. Drop the bomb."
So after the whole military thing, you get knocked out by HEC guys, and you get thrown in a trash compactor.
You get knocked out and dump you in a trash compactor. The title of the slide.
Yep. And like they take away all your guns in the middle, and you have to gain them all back. I don't like this one either. This is probably my least favorite.
Is this like a stealth section kind of thing?
No. You just get your guns back.
Oh, so it's just useless.
They dump you and they forget you.
Yeah, like it'd be cool if it was like a stealth section then.
It's not.
I mean, like in modern day games, it probably would be a stealth section.
It probably would be, but...
Do you want to see a modern Half-Life
This
remake?
affected a lot of first-person shooters later on because midway through the game, you gotta lose them all your guns, gain them back. Yeah, happened in AVP 2.
The tropes.
Yeah. This was another trope it set forward. I wish it didn't.
Yeah, but like at the same time, like if done right, it works. It can build tension. It can change the gameplay up for like 20 minutes. But if you don't do anything with it like this,
not really. Like you go through like the waste disposal section of the facility, which I don't like. You're just jumping around and avoiding green vats of slime like Batman 1989.
But no, what was I say? My thing about this is just like I want to comment more on like the thing I'm reading right now,
Mhm.
it is the most cool thing because it's completely stream of consciousness. There's no thought behind a sentence structure or information. It's just like you get knocked out and dump you in a trash compactor. You get knocked out and they take your guns and we basically gotta crawl through the sewer till you get them back. Like there's no like what am I presenting here? It's like just type what I'm thinking and I'll remember what to say.
I mean, I did.
You did. I'm not judging you for that. I'm just saying like it's the most cool writing style I can think of. So I wanted to say thank you for being authentic to yourself and not being me.
I hope you're all looking forward to my novel.
Your novel?
Extreme.
No periods. Just no paragraphs. Just like 70 pages of just endless bullshit. Next.
So, after you're done through the disposal labs, you go through, like, their biological labs, and you find, like, Zen creatures all hooked up and, like, being tested.
Okay. So did they have access to the Zen creatures prior
Yes.
to the... Okay.
That you begin to learn that they were able to go to Zen
Okay.
and, like, grab certain creatures. Not the big one. Not the Gargantua or the tentacle for obvious reasons, because
Big AF.
they're big as fuck.
But, like, so they don't have information on
So
them.
they
but have
had. So you
information on-
found like the Hound Eyes and like dog cages.
And the head crabs.
Yeah, you find like a head crabs and like you find a.
So is there an official name for the head crab?
It's called head crab.
Even, like, in-game science?
I mean, I think a lot of it was the game files, and eventually they got adopted in Half-Life 2.
Well, my point was, like, in Game 1, does the head crab have a different name?
No,
Okay, I'm just curious.
not really.
I mean, like, I understand it being called a head crab, but not, like, when you first meet it. Like, when you
Yeah.
see it, that's not a head crab. After it jumps on someone's head, then it's a head crab. You know what I mean? Like, alright. Anyway.
And in the lab, you find a new enemy and a new gun. Some people say it's the best gun. It's the Tower Cannon.
Isn't your favorite, like, the mind control hive thing?
That's in 2.
Okay. So what's your favorite in 1?
Like the Tower Cannon's pretty fun. The crossbows, probably the Magnum, because I just fucking shoot shit.
Not the crowbar? Not your favorite thing?
Nah, I like the weird guns. I like the exotic stuff.
I mean, it's the most iconic.
It's the most
Half-Life
iconic.
thing.
Yeah, it's in all the. It's in all of the.
When Valve make their tournament fighter, he's gonna fight with a crowbar.
Damn right. And then you make it out, and you have to find the military. They're in an all-out war with the Zen creatures at this point, and they're beating them.
As I said, you don't care about the foothold.
You cross a dam. You shoot down a couple helicopters. There's some cliffs. You get a bazooka. There are a few tanks.
There's no information. Just beat by beat what's going on. Military just start bombing Black Mesa.
Yeah, and then they start bombing the shit out of it.
That's where you should have started.
Well, you know.
Is Black Mesa a military facility or is it private?
I think it's a private run, but it has military contracts.
Oh, then they would have blown it up immediately. Even if it has military contracts, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's not their facility. It doesn't count as their losses. But
And
trust
then-
me, the military cares about losses.
Then you meet the alien grunts, which are like they're finally teleporting in their main force.
Yeah, the train combat.
Yeah, the 7-foot tall armored motherfuckers with the B hand.
It fires homing hornet projectiles.
They suck. You eventually get it, and it's just not good. It maxes out at 8, but it regenerates.
So, like, hold on. My question is it good on the enemy and just bad on you, or is it bad on the enemy as well?
Bad on it. Bad on the enemy, but the enemy that uses it has a fuck ton of health.
Okay, so it's just annoying.
It's annoying, and
Because it has homing bullets, and you gotta fucking lay
when you
rounds into
use
that.
it has a max of 8. I'm pretty sure they do too, and it has 2 fire modes. It can shoot like two, or it can fire all at once.
Okay.
And I don't think those ones home.
Oh, that... that's lame.
The rapid
like-
fire.
I mean, like, if real life weapons, we do have a missile system. It's anti-air, and if we can rapid fire up to 12 missiles,
Mm.
and they all home onto heat. So,
Well, I don't know. Talk to the Hornets.
no, my question is like also like there'll be
Also,
like what's going on with his belly?
oh, he has an arm.
That's an arm.
That's a third arm.
It looks weird. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's the front
It's
perspective.
the,
Maybe
it's
they
the
have a
angle.
profile.
If you were to look at it from a different profile.
What is it coming up from his dick region?
I don't know. You don't have a dick.
But like from my perspective, it looks like it's coming up from like here. And
It's
like,
a long. It's like folded up like this,
okay,
like a
maybe that's
mantis
what I'm
arm.
looking at. Who knows? Maybe I'm looking at the down elbow.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have a downward elbow and upward elbow?
He's got like shoulder pads with all metallic. I think a little bit of it deflects if you shoot him.
Oh, I should note, Cole can't see his own images here.
No, I'm operating purely on memory. Which
he can see the text he wrote, but that's clearly not worth anything.
He smacks the shit out of you, and like Vortigons are like their support. They're like behind them.
Okay.
Though, I should note, the Beehive in the remake of Black Mesa, it's great for one thing, and it's when you first get it, and they show how you put it on. You shove it up its ass. You shove your arm up its ass.
Is it a living thing?
Yes. It's a living creature, Jared.
Okay, so follow-up question. How does this work?
Well, I don't know what kind of Spider-Man hand you're doing inside.
I know bioorganic technology is a thing.
Yeah.
Right? And if this is an example of bioorganic technology,
there's going to be more of this.
I'm okay with bioorganic technology, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to have a firing mechanism and a lock-on mechanism for this device.
No, you squeeze its little tentacles inside, and then it like shoots out all of its bees.
That's not. There's no lock-on.
It
has homing. Like, my problem isn't the idea behind it. My problem is
maybe it's like a host, like symbiote kind of thing,
and it can read your brain.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But it's bioorganic.
I mean, there's
no neurological function in the hand.
Also, you can swap weapons after this.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So it clearly doesn't latch into your arm. There's clearly a mechanism in there that enables you to fire and determine what you're locking onto.
I mean, it's a first-person shooter. You have to be able to swap back to your guns.
Oh, no. My problem isn't that. My problem is purely... Oh, my God. That image looks weird. My problem is purely, like, just the explanation of how this bioorganic technology would function in universe.
It's mostly left to you. They don't really try.
Yeah, I mean, like, I understand. Cool weapon. You put it in. Whatever.
And
but the point of this show isn't to just accept that. The point of this is for me to go, why the fuck and how the fuck does this work?
Don't worry. The expansions have more guns. So, and like, as the military getting fucked up, you also see like the alien has the aircraft too that look like big manta rays.
Okay, Cole. I wanna know, like, is this thing dropping off the the grunts?
Yeah.
Why is his head just stuck in the bottom?
I don't know. It was a screenshot. I mean, obviously the engine's just like spawning it there and dropping it in the sky.
It just looks terrible. So is this another bioorganic thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it like flies around and shoots lasers. I think the one with one tail shoots lasers, and the one with two tails drops people off. You only notice
based on what I can see, yes.
Like, it's purely like if you notice it. If you don't, whatever.
Okay. I mean, like, it's probably good from a gameplay perspective. Also, their wings are different.
I mean, it's all scripted.
The two-tail ones are like that, and the one-tail ones are diamonds, right?
Yeah.
I just did hand gestures on the audio format again.
I mean, it's all scripted. The alien aircrafts.
Welcome to Amateur Hour, everybody. Anyway,
you don't actually fight it.
Oh, okay, so it just comes by.
It comes by and it like
shoots some laser at you, leave.
It shoots lasers at the military. It sets up like.
It doesn't fire at Gordon?
Sadly, no. Like, you see it fly over a tank, and it just shoots a laser down like a UFO.
Okay.
In the Black Mesa remake, you see them do dogfights with F-22s, which are awesome.
Pretty cool.
And you hear them above you. And after going through the hellscape that's above you, you finally make it to the Lambda Complex, which you've been trying to get to since, like, the Blast Pit.
Okay.
The Lambda Complex is where they teleport to Zen.
Okay, so it's the opposite end of this guy.
Yeah.
So is your goal to go to Zen?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I catch on fast, people.
You eventually make it. You meet scientists throughout the complex. It's where they created the portal technology. And they tell you satellite didn't work.
Okay. Lame.
And because there's something on the other end keeping it open. And they tell you gotta go kill it. And you're like... and you just kind of go. You don't really argue against it.
Seems like Gordon's a very big yes man in this franchise.
Yeah, you don't really say much. They give you like a jump pack. They give you a lot of ammo, and they just kind of shove you on your way.
Long jump module.
That's what they call it.
Does it allow you to jump?
Yeah.
Like, does it shoot air or fire? Or...
I assume it's like a big air.
Okay, pretty interesting.
It helps in Zen. You'll see why.
It's platforming, isn't it?
It's a lot. Not many people like Zen.
From what, so like as I said, I don't know much about it, but I do know that Zen is platforming and that it was the least liked section of Half-Life 1.
Yes. I liked it as a kid, and I grew fond of it. It's
And
only
during your replay, did you like it now?
yeah,
Okay.
I think I was fine.
I mean,
There were moments where I thought, so in Zen, it's like low gravity. We'll just click to the next one. So as you're defending it, you fight these bad boys, the alien controllers, the big head boys.
these things look like H.R. Geiger's wet dream.
A lot of Zen turns into some H.R. Geiger shit.
Okay.
They like float around, and they're obviously like the higher ends of the society.
Okay.
They do loud screeches, and they like shoot
Do they
energy
fold
balls.
up into balls?
They shoot energy balls at you.
Okay.
Their heads can open, like flaps, and they have a third arm too.
I can see the third one. Is that just a common theme?
That's a common theme with Zen creatures.
Also, does he have a loincloth on?
uh,
There's a red triangle blocking his dick area.
this might be part of him.
It looks like it's clothing. I'm gonna go with clothing.
I don't think the Gold Source Engine could animate clothing yet. So
I mean, it's clearly super stiff and shiny, but like,
you can see it like command all the other Zen creatures. Like particularly in Zen, they're around the Vortigons. So obviously they're like the Vortigons are their slaves basically.
okay. So do they mentally control them, or is it like
It's in
the shackles?
I'd say they both mentally and like societally control them.
Well, I mean, like, in terms of giving commands is a mental thing.
Well, they do high-pitched screeches that you don't understand, so it's hard to
Okay,
tell.
so it's not a mental thing. Like I'm saying, do they physically command them, or do they have like mind powers? It
In
seems like
the
they physically command them.
In the Black Mesa remake, they can mentally command them.
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
Yes, and then you make it to Zen. So what do you think?
It's colorful.
It's very colorful, and it doesn't make any sense, right? Because they're asteroids, but they have like gravity, like it's not like Super Mario Galaxy where you walk around a ball.
Where each thing has individual gravity.
No, it's all one gravity.
Which, that also wouldn't work.
But if I was thinking about this, all right, there was an anti-mass spectrometer in the beginning. That's what caused this whole thing. So perhaps these things have anti-mass.
What's anti-mass?
Well, it's the opposite of mass.
But mass is what gives something gravity, right?
Yeah.
If you're massive enough, you gain gravity. Okay?
Maybe it repels.
Repels?
Yeah.
But then they would just infinitely be expanding upon each other and not stick together. Just like everything with gravity is.
Maybe it's think like Avatar, the movie with the blue people. You know how they're floating because of the unobtainium? Maybe these are floating because of the Zen crystals.
Maybe they're floating because anti-mass is actually a thing which causes gravity to act differently upon something. Who knows? That's all I'm saying.
It's very weird. Everything's living here, I should mention. Like, there's a bunch of fauna and, like...
So, like, is the building alive?
Yeah.
So it's all bioorganic?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
It's all, like, there's no real technology.
Okay.
Well, then you meet... Oh, I want to know your opinion on Garnak.
Is that the thing on the top right?
Yes.
The giant crab with the slime.
So it was made when an employee of Valve asked, why don't we put a giant testicle on a 20-foot tall armored spider? This is a quote. It is not a joke.
Do we know what Valve employee has suggested this?
Gabe Newell.
Was it really?
I think so. So this thing...
I mean, the guy just like, Gabe's good, who cares?
So this thing is the mama to the head crabs.
The mama?
Yeah, it makes head crabs.
Oh, that's a spawning sack, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like
Which
as
is
you battle,
pretty
you
accurate
find
in
baby
insects.
ones that nibble at your feet, and they're really annoying. And it shoots big acid out the top of it.
Big acid?
Yeah, it's like a big mortar acid attack.
Okay. Artillery acid.
Yeah,
spawning
and it tries to
babies
stab you with its feet.
with its fucking, like, with its Kong Skull Island feet.
Yeah.
That's like the best scene in that movie. It's a good scene. I can't deny that.
You kill it, and then you go to like the next. Like, I should mention in Zen, all the levels are separated by like teleports, and the teleportations are like balls. It's not portal technology. It's like a ball that you go into, and then you teleport to the next like big island
So
thing.
it'd be like a matter thing that moves
Yeah.
matter through the light.
Yeah.
A light matter.
You'll see it when you start editing.
So like when it beams,
It's like a big green
It's like Star
ball.
Trek beaming technology in a way, right? Like because it's light travel. You travel through light in beams, so you're traveling through the light of the ball.
Yeah, and like it has like a point A and a point B.
Okay. It reminds me of a level in Legend of Dragoon where you travel through balls and go all the place. Also, Final Fantasy IX has the same level.
Next, you teleport to an interesting level is Interloper. It's like a Zen style factory.
I like the intestinal looking fucking pillars.
It's very annoying because it has it's like very like HR Giger alien-esque. There's platforms that spin while going up and down, which is very disorienting.
Kind of reminds me of the final level of Earthbound, which is extremely.
A lot of this is very HR Giger or like Cthulhu-esque. You'll know what I mean soon enough.
The giant squid enemies.
You'll notice in Interloper, it's assumed that this is where they make alien grunts. They're not naturally.
Okay.
They're like created.
Bioorganic.
They're made to fight.
If I've said bioorganic too many times, let me know. Said it a lot. But this game is bioorganic. There's bioorganic technology, so of course it's going to be said a lot.
Right, and anyway. After this, you find a big red portal and you teleport to the creature called Nihilith.
The drawing is terrifying.
Oh yes, he's the big leader. He opened the world. He's keeping a connection between our worlds open, and he keeps sending them. Also, he's got 3 arms. He's got like a big chamber. He has like crystals around his head. Opens up and he regenerates health. So you gotta fire rockets at them. It fires like kind of like they're very related to the controllers.
Yeah, they seem kind of similar with the big.
They're very similar, and they shoot balls of energy. He shoots like the big teleport balls at you, and he teleports you to like different parts that you have to teleport back.
It's actually a pretty interesting like boss fight mechanic.
Yeah, he's kind of easy, not in the remake.
But I mean, like as a mechanic though, like I can't talk to like how it's executed or how it's worked in, but it seems like an interesting mechanic where the boss will teleport you to random places.
Yeah, not in and you have to fight through that little section and get back to you.
Yeah.
And as you're in Zen, if you like play it back, you'll hear he's actually he talks to you when you teleport into places. Okay. Like he'll say like when you first teleport in, the quote is like comes another. Alone like you. And what's an interesting quote is you are man, he is not, for he waits you. For you,
he waits
for
you. So there's someone else there who's not human?
Yeah. And you find out after you kill it, you shoot the big crystal in its head, and it's like a Zen crystal, and it blows up and like shoots portals everywhere. You find the G-Man. He saves you.
Dun 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 dun.
After you kill Space Baby. Which, by the way, the Space Baby was inspired by Gabe Newell's son. Because the birth was so terrifying to him.
After you called him Space Baby, I can only think of Time Baby from Gravity Falls.
Well, he's a little bit like Time Baby, actually.
Who would win in a fight, Space Baby or Time Baby? Time Baby, he's essentially a god.
Time Baby, he controls time.
Although he did lose to Bill Save. Anyway, this isn't Gravity
moving.
Falls yet. I can't wait for that episode. Anyway, next.
So yeah, you find G-Man,
the Gum Man?
He's actually throughout the whole game.
Yeah, I know. You can see him spying on you.
Yeah, you see him like walk past, spy on you a little bit, off in the distance, walk behind a corner, teleport away.
I've never seen, I've never played the game, but I know that thing.
Yeah, he's like, G-Man's just what the files call him. That's his name in the game files. He has no name.
Yeah, and he's like a big mystery of what he is. And
he has a briefcase. What's in the briefcase?
What's the logo on the briefcase?
Black Mesa, assuming.
I don't know what Black Mesa's logo looks like.
It's like a circle with like a mountain.
It kind of looks like that on the briefcase.
Like a mesa, if you will. And then he takes your guns, saying they're all mostly government property, and he tells you can keep the hazmat as you've earned it, and he asks you if you want to take a job. And it ends with you in a tram in a portal, and he's like, time to choose. And you can either take the job or you don't. It's one of the options you get. So, Jared, ask me, what happens if you don't?
What happens if you don't, Cole?
He teleports you to a battle you cannot win.
Because you don't have your guns?
You don't have your guns, and he teleports you in front of an army of alien grunts.
Do you have your crowbar?
No. You're fucked. So, and then if you go through the portal, you're hired, and you're basically put into like stasis.
What's the cannon choice?
You're hired.
Okay, so 2 takes off from.
Yes.
Okay. Or the expansions take off from that.
Yeah. I go through some of the weapons. You get the crowbar, you get the Glock 17 in the game, the Spas 12, MP5 with a grenade launcher.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That one's weird. I don't know many MP5 in games. MP5s typically don't get grenade launchers.
Can't answer that for you.
Okay.
Never a weapon
This
specialist.
comes up later because they eventually introduced an HD remake. Like they introduced HD models when they introduced one of the expansions, Blue Shift.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to be part of the Dreamcast version, but it was basically done. But then Dreamcast version got
Yes, it can.
done.
Google says it can.
It can?
Yep.
Fair enough. But when they remade it for the HD version, they changed it to like, yes?
Why did you say HD? Are you British?
Yes. They changed it to an M16.
Okay, yeah, no, I Googled it. It said it can.
Mm.
Whether or not it actually can is a whole other story.
Yeah. They get grenades, satchel charges, magnum, crossbow, snarks. I love snarks. I'll go in the next slide. I go into them, like little roachy things that you throw
Leave
at
it
people.
for the next slide, Cole.
No.
Hive hand, Tau cannon, laser trip mine, RPG, and the glue-on gun.
I looked into the glue-on gun, and it's more terrifying than I thought.
So, okay, we're gonna go more into the guns now.
The snarks. I like the snarks. You throw them at people, and they kind of nibble at you, but if there's no one around, they nibble at you.
Sounds like a double-sided sword.
Yeah. They actually come useful when you're above someone and you have to like drop down and you know there's enemies like fuck you, and they like have a time life.
Mm-hmm.
They eventually pop. Then you got the Tau cannon, which is apparently powered by uranium-235,
Okay.
and it fires beams of Tau particles, which are real things, by the way. I left a little Wikipedia for
It
you
will
to
be in the
read.
description of this video or this podcast or whatever.
Yeah, if you want to become a scientist.
As will the show notes and the YouTube link and the podcast
like-
link
it's
and our Twitter
fun.
channel. Follow us on Twitter. We have 0 followers.
Yeah. It's actually one of people's favorites, especially the speedrunners. Because if you charge it up and you fire it, it launches you in the air, which is very useful in speedruns, as you can fly
Okay.
across this.
Yeah, I mean, like, I like it when they exploit
So
games.
if you, like,
so
point
it's
it-
essentially a rocket jump,
Yeah, it's a rocket jump.
but with a energy particle beam.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like the first fire is like a pew pew pew, and like the second fire is a charge up. I assume there's a Zen crystal inside.
You assume it.
Yes, because typically the Zen crystals are normal, but when you put power through them or like lasers go through them, it like they react violently.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume that's what makes a lot of these weapons work.
Okay.
It's a good like they don't exist anywhere else in the Half-Life universe, so it's a good assumption.
Yeah.
I would say. And whenever you see light or power go through them, they typically like enhance it or accelerate it
Mm-hmm.
in a way.
So they can have particle acceleration built in somehow.
Yes. And like there's a thing in the gun that spins. You can see it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it charges, like it starts spinning as you charge it up. And then next is the glue-on gun, which in the game files was called the Egon gun because it think Ghostbusters photon cannon.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah, I
But-
see the backpack and everything.
I looked at what gluons were, and they're the particles holding thing, like they're the force holding particles together.
Yes.
So hypothetically, either this like interferes with them, it fires something that interferes with them, or just interferes with it themselves. So
either-
it tears matter apart.
So that's what it does. It tears things apart.
They never really explained it, but considering it's called the gluon gun,
I mean, it could be the opposite. It could compress things infinitely together.
uh,
It could affect it by adding more. I'm saying, like, I'm asking what it does in the game.
what it does, you shoot it at organic things. It only affects organics.
Okay.
It blows it up, and it
So
like
it's overpowered in in Zen.
it shares ammo with the gluon gun because they both run off uranium-235.
So you mean with the Tau cannon?
Yeah, the Tau cannon, I mean, sorry. They share ammo, so you can't just run around.
All right. I mean, Well, no, my thing about it was just like, it's like everything in there is organic. So
Yeah. Well, you could shoot boxes with it, but in the game there wasn't much you could destroy.
I mean, it's
'Cause
before destructible
1998
environments was a thing.
It had a secondary fire, which had a wider beam, which is why in the idle animation he has like a little thing he's fucking with. You can kind of see it in there. Like he turns it a little bit, but in the game that they just cut it.
Okay.
Now to cut content, which I hope you enjoy it.
How much more we got?
So Jared, please go to cut content. And
I'm already there.
You looking at Ivan the Space
Yes,
Biker?
I'm looking at this guy's impressive beard.
So this is what Gordon Freeman was going to look like.
No.
And he looked in a game. People have called him like a homeless biker.
It's the way it looks like.
Yeah.
What's with the fucking flat top?
Yeah, right? Like, it's so weird. This was Gordon, and like, they looked at that as like, this is not the feeling we want to give players.
Okay, the scientist and the crew of Black Mesa.
Look at some of those scientists. Look at, like, the angry face.
The MP is my favorite. I will be posting that on everything.
I thought you would love some of these.
Robo, Grunt, and Sergeant.
Oh yeah, the Robo Grunt was supposed to like come up when the HEC evaded eventually. In fact, it's actually used in the multiplayer. It's a skin. And it was in the German version. It replaced all of the Grunt skins in the German version.
Why?
Because Germany liked to censor stuff, and they like.
It kind of looks like a Nazi.
What, the robot?
No, the other thing.
Oh, the sergeant?
I don't know. No, like if they want to cover stuff that might look like a Nazi.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, they decided to put the robot Grunt.
The robot looks less. He's not human.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's not human. Who cares?
Yeah, he's not a humanoid or
The
anything.
human sergeant had a minigun.
And a cigar.
And a cigar, of course.
Panther Eye.
Panther Eye, another Zen cut enemy. It was like a big panther.
Looks like a tiger type enemy.
Yeah, it was like running around and mauled ya.
Charger.
Charger had this weird thing. It flew like a fly, and it
little
opened
wings.
up. It had like a thing that opened up its head like a helmet, and it like charged you.
Why would you make a flying thing that charges?
I don't know. Well, it was cut.
Makes sense.
The Kingpin.
It's
Like it has like they get weirder, Jared. They get weirder. And the whole reason I put this in here, Mr. Friendly.
he looks very friendly. Why is the human centipede an enemy in this game, Cole?
It was made by a 12-year-old brother of one of the developers.
What?
Yes.
What?
This was designed by one of the kid.
This
like,
just goes to show you 12-year-olds are the worst people on Earth. So is there gameplay files of this or anything?
Yes. These are like the models, and like modders have made use of these and put them in their own single-player content. It's very dick looking.
Yeah, I can see that.
And like, it looks like my Impossible Creatures creature. Like it has horse legs in the back and like tentacle arms in the front.
Mm-hmm.
Some more random, like the floaters, the snap bug, the stuka bat. There's not much.
Flocking floater.
There's not much information on them, pretty much.
Chum Toad.
Chum Toad. This guy was basically done, but they didn't include it. It was like the bottom tier of like Zen. It's what everything ate, and it was a weapon. And you could throw it to distract Zen creatures.
I can see why they would cut that.
Yeah. And it's just
like, if,
but
if I was to include this, I would cut some of the weapons you had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also,
make the game more stealth, less combat.
It was so close to finish that it appeared in the expansions as like little Easter eggs you could find.
Okay.
Dumb little purple frog.
Opposing force.
Opposing force. Now, you play as a different character. You play as Adrian Shepard,
I'm
who
not
is
Gordon
one.
Freeman.
Not Gordon Freeman.
Fuck this, then I'm done. Bye, leaving.
So you're one of the military bros sent in to clean up, basically. Your helicopter gets shot down, and like you get woken up by the scientists, and you're basically trapped in Black Mesa now too.
Mm-hmm.
And if you try to make it back to your unit, you get left behind, and eventually you have to fight Black Ops, who are there to clean up. This is the problem I have with opposing force, because they sent a second military
death
force
team.
to clean up the military and the scientists.
You've seen too much. Now it's time to die.
Okay, a very annoying thing I have to admit in opposing force is the night vision. So in Half-Life 1, you had a flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
They replaced it with night vision, which turns the whole screen gray and it's like, pew, pew. You'll be very annoyed with me, Jared. Because, well, there's a lot of, like, vent crawling segments that are slow. So you'll see me mash the F key, and it goes green off, green off, green off. And
I don't think I can use those.
I can, and you will.
Epilepsy warning. Here it is.
Your helicopter gets shut down. You're woken up by some scientists. You have to fight the Black Ops I just mentioned. You make it to the Lambda Complex, and you just miss Gordon, actually.
Okay, so
As he's teleporting in, you actually see like him jump in.
and then
you're teleported to Zen 2, and you actually make it back.
cool.
Then,
That was a weird voice.
and then you teleport back to like the underwater labs.
Mm-hmm.
You fight a big worm. You fight the Race X. And you kill a big blue boy on the dam. My blue boy, the Gargantuan. You almost prevent a nuke. Almost. You kill another worm, then G-Man picks you up and puts you in stasis. Just like Gordon, to keep you out of trouble. He doesn't...
To this day.
Actually, yes.
Oh, you ended it, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Now,
Otis, the fat
Otis-
new security guard, is
so,
fat.
So yeah, he's like the new security guard they added. He's a badass. He actually kicks ass. Like one of the first times you see him fight, his default weapon is a Desert Eagle. So he legitimately turns and like he just kills things. I
brought a big fucking gun to the fight.
Yeah, you see him try to get money out of food out of a vending machine, and like zombies come up behind him, and he just shoots them.
Badass. Military bros.
The act is you're always in this one.
Cool, because you are one. So
Yes, and like in the previous games, you could press E and have like security guards or scientists follow you.
Mm-hmm.
You can do this with these boys.
Nice.
And there's two who serve a purpose. You need them to progress. The medic can heal people, so you need him to heal someone.
Okay.
And there's a welder boy who can
The engineer.
The engineer who could like torch through doors.
Okay.
And they have bigger guns, so they're actually not very useful. They end up shooting you in the back a lot, just because they
dumbasses.
And they shoot each other in the back a lot.
Friendly fire. Check your fire lines, people. Race X.
Yeah, these are some of the new enemies that are included in Opposing Force. They weirdly have no relation to the Zen creatures. Oddly.
Cool. The pit drone.
Oh yeah, this is part of the Race X. They're like velociraptors with mantis arms. They hunt packs.
Spiky spikes.
They're apparently cannibals.
They'll eat each other.
They eat their dead...
It's fucking metal.
Yeah. The shock troopers.
That thing does not look intimidating, to be honest.
It reminds me of, in Men in Black 1, when they meet the thing in the desert, it's that. And they have like...
It makes me think of enemies from... A lot of these are making me think of enemies from Abe's Odyssey.
Yeah. Honestly, they do. A lot.
Yeah, a lot of them make me think of that. Anyway, continue. We got
they have like the shock roach on their arm instead of the hive mind. Way better than the hive mind. It regenerates ammo like the hive mind and a max of like I think 10 or 12.
Okay.
But it hurts way more. It's just way more useful, and they throw spore grenades at you.
Like assholes.
Yes. The Vortigors, no relation to the Vortigons. They're
the Voltigors.
Vortigors.
Did you misspell it?
I don't know.
It's spelled V-O-L.
I didn't misspell it. I just say it wrong.
Voltigors. Okay.
The big, ugly bastards that like run around. You kind of find them with the shock troopers. They shoot like big purple balls of energy at you.
Yeah. Crab fuckers.
Yeah. Hate them.
A lot of crab and squid themed enemies.
You actually go through their nest and it's pitch black and it's all green because the night vision is awful, and you meet like the baby ones because they're making a nest in the sewer.
The pitworm makes me look like he's trying to sell me something. He's like, "Hey, what do you want to buy here? Hey! Welcome to my store!"
This one's very similar to the tentacle in terms of level design. You have to go turn on the steam vent, the main pressure valve, and the primary pump.
Okay.
And to melt it with the acid that's sitting in. I assume turn up the acidity to melt it because it's in your way.
How can... Don't ask questions. That acid doesn't have varying levels of acidic quality.
You can turn up the acidity.
Unless you make it higher concentrated acid.
You just dump more acid, Jared.
Yeah, higher concentration of acid. So it's diluted acid. And
You do dump it on it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then the final...
Its true size is unknown.
Yeah, honestly. The
final gene worm.
So, at the end of the game, there's a big portal and this thing comes through. It looks like a tentacle, right?
It looks like if the tentacle fucked the other worm.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not related for some reason. I think they reused assets a little bit.
Probably. I mean, how soon did this come out after the original game?
Maybe a year.
Oh yeah, then they probably definitely just reused some shit.
So,
Modified
from what
models.
I read on the wiki, it supposedly is like a resource factory. You could like transform the environment to fit the race X.
Okay. So who is Race X?
It's all these creatures.
But like, what are they?
They're their own like little race. Like when Resonance Cascade, it opens a door between them. Perhaps other worlds could come to us too.
Okay, so that's the theory.
Yeah, it has no relation to like the big baby's plan.
Okay, but they look similar still.
They do look. They have similar qualities, right?
Okay, yeah.
But they can be seen fighting the Zen creatures
But
too.
they have bioorganic stuff, and they have things that make nests, and they have crabs.
I mean, like all of this was made by Gearbox, by the way. None of it was made by Valve.
Okay, let's keep going. Anything you want to say about this more?
The weapons. You got the barnacle can be attached on the hand now, and it's like a grapple. That could there's like green portions of the map that you can go on that you could grapple across.
That sounds dangerous.
Yes, and you shove your hand up a barnacle's ass. It's weird and kinky. The shock roach
Sexy.
I already talked about. The spore launcher. So from what I read, it is the baby version of the shock troopers. It's like a grenade launcher, and there's like green balls you can like on the organic thing. It's like growing, and you can grab them. And
weird.
Instead of a tau cannon or the gluon cannon, you get a displacer cannon. So you know how you get back from Zen? This thing. So it shoots the big teleport balls? These
Yeah.
shoot it. So you shoot it at something. It's like a BFG of Half-Life.
Okay.
So theoretically, now the enemies, when you shoot them, they explode. But I like to think it teleports them randomly to Zen.
Or it teleports them to different places.
Yes.
That'd be awesome.
Now
Just like rip them apart to
Now
teleport
here's
them
the
in.
interesting thing. The secondary fire teleports you randomly to Zen. So you can go through a map and gain resources and stuff.
Okay.
And each map has like a new Zen area you can locate to.
Okay.
The penguin. This is
Yeah.
only in multiplayer. I thought you would enjoy the picture. Think of a snark with a grenade on it.
Penguin.
Penguin. Now Blue Shift.
Blue Shift.
Now, it's Black Mesa, but you play as Barney Calhoun, one of the guards.
Barney Calhoun!
Way less pedigree than Gordon Freeman.
Like, you say the name Gordon Freeman.
Gordon? Yes.
Hello, I'm Gordon Freeman.
He's actually...
What's up, guys? I'm Barney Calhoun!
Woohoo!
I just think of Cole Calhoun, the baseball player. Anyway, started out as exclusive.
This was part of the Dreamcast version, but that was 98% cut. Well, 98% done. Then it was cut because Dreamcast is no more!
Because the Dreamcast exploded. Both literally and figuratively.
So, basically in the game, when the whole thing goes off, you're on an elevator, it crashes, you go find a scientist who gets a working teleporter, and you teleport outside of Black Mesa to survive. You have to get it working, you go to Zen for a little bit to get it operational. They make you charge a battery. It took me an hour and a half to beat the game. It's not that great.
The HD models.
I already mentioned this. They changed the sound effects and the weapon models of the Spaz 12 and the assault rifle. In this case, it is a Car 15 or an M16. I don't like them. I really don't like them. This is the first time I ever used them. It was in these playthroughs. They're an option in all of them now that you just apply them.
Yeah.
I just don't like them. Half-Life, at one point you and me are going to play this, because it's the PlayStation 2 port that was made by Gearbox. Now, why do you say both of us? Because it has a co-op thing in it. That you and me could play with as we play as Gina Cross and Colette Green. And the AI this AI is worse than RE5, Jared. Do you want to know why? Because you swap to the other one, and the other one does nothing. There is no AI. There's nothing.
So it's not worse, it just doesn't exist.
It's not existent. And they also have like a bonus chapter where he plays 2 Vortigons called Zen Attacks. There's a source mod being made in the works called
Peer
Review. We'll see if it gets made. Then Black Mesa. So, Half-Life was ported to Source, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was just like a port job. It was nothing.
Yeah.
And it has so many bugs that, like, I didn't even record gameplay. There's a whole list, like a fan list of all the bugs. I'll show you 2 of them later. But fans were so disappointed that it wasn't like a true Source game that they spent 10 years making this. And they completely remade Zen into like a 30-minute thing to a 3-hour experience that's totally new, and I love bits of it. So like you see like the Black Mesa outpost there. That's actually really cool, and you see them like studying what they call all the Zen creatures and all that. And at the end, it wears its welcome.
Yeah.
Because it was only meant to be like a 30-minute thing, and you stretch it out to like a 3-hour thing.
Yeah, but like at the same time, it's the novelty of it that matters
and
more.
And it looks beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. And like, it's probably the first time they got to design their own levels. So, and there's 2 other ones being worked on for Opposing Force and Blue Shift.
Okay.
They're in the works for mods. We'll see if they come out. Mods are kind of iffy.
Yeah, mods. It's like Kickstarting a game. You know, you never know if it's going to be finished or not. It's a crapshoot.
But I love the Half-Life games. A lot of like weird creatures and like fun gameplay. I've played over 40 hours of these. I need a break. But Half-Life was not the only thing I recorded, Jared. I also recorded mods, because mods are a big staple of the Half-Life blood.
So that means we're still not done with Half-Life, people.
No.
We're already an hour in. So guess what? That means Half-Life Part 2. Tune in next week for that one.
Yeah, where we talk about mods and all the ones I kind of got my hands on.
Is there crabs with top hats?
I think so, yes.
Then I'm prepared.
Oh boy, are you prepared?
Anyway, thank you for tuning in. If you, as always, subscribe to this YouTube channel.
Let us know what we missed. Let us know what you think of Half-Life.
As I said, I've still never played it, and I don't know when I will play it. I just got a new PC, so maybe soon.
Maybe.
But we're preparing for our next big event, which I can talk to you now. Starting in October, the whole month is going to be dedicated to Resident Evil.
Oh boy.
We're doing the games in 2 separate blocks. We're doing monsters. We're doing the movies. And maybe we're doing some other stuff there.
Maybe.
We'll see what comes out. We'll be live streaming all the Resident Evil starting from, I think, when the Final Fantasy VIII episode goes up until probably halfway through October. We're finally done recording all the gameplay I need to edit it into videos.
Yes.
But anyway, thank you for tuning in so much. We appreciate everyone who ever listens to this, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah? Well, signing off.